Okay, I am going to share with you some of the mathematics that is connected to number 19. In the name of God, the all-gracious, the all-merciful. 19th prime is 67, and 19th composite is 30. So far, we have three sets of numbers, as you can see, 19, 67, and 30. Let's see what these three sets of numbers are going to be telling us mathematically. Well, right from the get-go, chapter 67 has 30 verses. If we multiply the index, which is 19, to the prime, which is 67, we get 1,273. What is this number going to tell us? 1273, as we should know, is the frequency of the word God from 11 to 9127. So far, God told us mathematically via number 19 that chapter 67 has 30 verses, and the frequency of the word God from 11 to 9127 is 1273. Let's do the same thing with the index and the composite, meaning 19 times 30. It would give us 570. And 570 is the frequency of initials Aleph, Lam, Mim in chapter 32. So far, we have been told mathematically, we are number 19. The total number of verses in chapter 67 is 30. The total frequency of word God from 11 to 9127 is 1273. The frequency of initials Aleph, Lam, Mim in chapter 32 is 570. Also, chapter 32 has 30 verses. You can see the connection between 32 and 30 here. Now, if we concatenate these two numbers, 32 and 30, we get 3,230. And 3,230 is equal to 2 times 5 times 17 times 19. These four numbers, 2, 5, 17, and 19, are prime numbers. And the indices of these primes, 2, 5, 17, and 19, are 1, 3, 7, and 8. Well, 1, 3, 7, and 8. 1,378 is the 341st triprime. And 341 is equal to 11 times 31. And 11 31st prime is 9127. This 9127 is telling us mathematically that chapter 9 has 127 verses and not 129. So far, God told us via mathematics and number 19 that chapter 67 has 30 verses. There are 1,273 word God from 11 to 9127. The total frequency of initials Aleph, Lam, Mim in chapter 32 is 570. The total number of verses in chapter 32 is 30. And chapter 9 having 127 verses. Let's take a look at 570, which is the frequency of initials Aleph, Lam, Mim in chapter 32. 570th Gaussian prime is 9127. Once again, 9127, meaning chapter 9 has 127 verses. Very simple mathematics to follow. We have been told mathematically, via number 19, that chapter 67 has 30 verses. There are 1,273 frequency word God from 11 to 9127. There are 570 Aleph, Lam, Mims in chapter 32. And that chapter 32 has 30 verses. And that chapter 9 has 127 verses and not 129. Now next, 570, which is the index, and the Gaussian prime of that is 9127. If we add those two numbers, 570 and 9127, we get 9,697. And 9,697 is a prime number. Well, what is this number going to tell us? The index of prime, 9,697, is 1197. And 1197 is the frequency of initials Aleph, Lam, Ra in chapter 14. So far, we have been told mathematically, via number 19, that chapter 67 has 30 verses. There are 1,273 word God from 1:1 to 9:1 to 7. There are 570 initials Aleph, Lam, Mim in chapter 32. And that chapter 32 has 30 verses. Chapter 9 has 127 verses. And there are 1,197 Aleph, Lam, Ra in chapter 14. Very simple mathematics to follow. And as you can see, every angle, every corner, every turn, we get something about the mathematics of the Quran. This information was shared with us during Quran studies and Jummah prayers by Dr. Fazali. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. God bless. Peace.